The sun began setting over the city, casting a golden glow across the highway as officers Jack Riley and Marcus Hayes patrolled the area. Jack, a rookie fresh from the academy, was eager to pick up lessons from Marcus, a seasoned officer known for his firm approach. Their patrol car cruised through the usual traffic when Marcus's eyes locked onto a sleek black van exiting the highway and pulling into a rest area. The vehicle's tinted windows and discreet design immediately stood out to him. Suspicious? Without hesitation, he flipped on the flashing lights, signaling the van to stop. Jack hesitated for a moment, seeing no clear threat, but Marcus's instincts were usually right. The van came to a smooth stop. Inside sat Thomas Langston, a composed man in his 50s, dressed in a sharp suit, carrying an air of authority. What neither officer knew was that Langston was actually the head of internal affairs for their department. His calm exterior hid his irritation at being pulled over for no clear reason. Marcus stepped up to the driver's side, Jack close behind, his nerves tingling. Marcus motioned for Langston to roll down the window, which he did with a neutral expression. Without delay, Marcus started questioning him. What he was doing in the area, the purpose of his trip, and why he was driving such a suspicious-looking van. Langston responded politely but kept his answers brief, offering no extra details. Standing off to the side, Jack noticed something. Marcus's tone had shifted, growing more accusatory rather than just curious. Something felt off. The man in the van wasn't acting suspiciously, yet Marcus seemed determined to establish dominance. Jack stole a glance at Langston. His firm, steady gaze made it clear this was not a man to be pushed around. Marcus's suspicions escalated. He ordered Langston to step out of the vehicle, claiming a search was necessary. Langston raised an eyebrow but complied, moving with deliberate calmness. His polished appearance and composed demeanor stood in stark contrast to the rising tension. Jack's unease deepened, but he stayed quiet, reluctant to challenge Marcus's authority. Marcus started inspecting the van, instructing Langston to stand by the patrol car. Langston watched, his expression unwavering, hands resting casually at his sides. The search was invasive, unnecessary, driven more by Marcus's bias than by any real evidence. Jack could feel the weight of the situation pressing down on him, tension building by the second. Finally, Langston decided he'd had enough. His voice, steady and authoritative, cut through the air. He identified himself, pulling out his badge and credentials. Head of Internal Affairs. The revelation hit like a thunderclap. Jack froze, eyes wide with shock. Marcus went pale. The reality of his overstep crashed down on him in an instant. Langston's tone sharpened as he laid out the multiple protocols Marcus had violated: profiling without cause, conducting an unjustified search, and escalating a situation that posed no threat. He reminded them both their duty was to serve and protect, not to harass and intimidate. Marcus stammered, trying to justify his actions, but Langston wasn't having it. He made it clear this incident would be reported and there would be consequences. Misusing power was a serious offense, especially for those sworn to uphold the law. Feeling the weight of the moment, Jack finally spoke up, apologizing for his role in the situation and admitting Langston's criticism was well-deserved. Langston's expression softened slightly as he addressed Jack, recognizing the rookie's discomfort. He encouraged him to learn from this, to always question actions that felt wrong, even when they came from a superior. To Marcus, however, Langston's words carried a sharper edge. Authority isn't a weapon, it's a responsibility, one that demanded integrity and accountability. The tense encounter ended with Langston returning to his van, his composure unshaken despite the unnecessary ordeal. As he drove away, Marcus and Jack stood motionless beside their patrol car. The weight of Langston's words hung heavy in the air. Marcus looked shaken, while Jack seemed deep in thought, reflecting on what had just unfolded. Back at the station, both officers filed their reports, fully aware that an internal review was inevitable. For Marcus, the incident was a humbling reminder of the dangers of unchecked bias and the need to uphold true justice. For Jack, it was a defining moment early in his career, one that reinforced the values of fairness and accountability. Meanwhile, Langston returned to his office, knowing that while this one incident wouldn't change the department overnight, it was a step in the right direction. Every confrontation like this was an opportunity, a chance to remind officers of their duty, not just to enforce the law, but to embody its highest ideals. In the days that followed, the department buzzed with talk of what had happened. Officers debated their responsibilities, the limits of their authority, and the importance of acting within the law. The experience served as a turning point for Marcus, forcing him to reevaluate his approach to policing. And for Jack, it reaffirmed exactly why he had joined the force in the first place: to serve with integrity and to make a real, positive difference in his community.